Dunking is one of the most electrifying things that can be done in basketball. People are impressed by it. If your goal is to dunk, there are many factors that you'll need to work on, especially if you're under 6 feet tall. In fact, out of the 6 billion people in this world, only about 1% of people can dunk on a 10-foot hoop. I remember when I first told myself I was going to dunk. Nobody really believed that it would be possible. I'm 5'10", and my genetics haven't always played to my favor. But I was determined. After hours of studying, hard work, and persistence, and many jump programs that I tried, I took the best information out of each based on scientific study and really started applying it to myself. With that being said, here are 3 tips that everyone can work on towards getting closer to dunking in basketball.
So tip number 1 is fat don't fly. If you're someone who's overweight, you're ultimately holding on to dead weight, which is going to be holding you down when you're trying to jump high. Now I want you to think about it like this. If you held onto a 5 to 10 pound dumbbell and tried jumping, most likely you're not going to be able to jump as high as you usually can. Now, on the contrary, if you had, say, a resistance band that's attached to a chin-up bar or some sort of bar that's pulling you up, with 5 pounds of resistance being taken off your body weight, now you'll be able to see how much easier, how much lighter you feel when you are jumping, and how much nicer it is on your joints as well. Now, if you're someone who's a little bit outside of that range, that's still okay. As long as you're between the 10 to 15% mark, you can still really focus on strength training and really narrow down that diet so then it's complementing your training as well as kind of getting you back close to that 5 to 10% body fat range. Now, if you're someone who's outside of that range a little bit, say closer to the 15 to 20% mark, I would want you to focus on splitting up your strength training and adding a little bit more conditioning. This is to really speed up that process of bringing your body fat percentage back down. At the same time, just by losing that dead weight, you'll be able to naturally jump higher and find it much easier on your joints as well. Tip number 2, train for explosiveness. Now, this is probably one of the most common mistakes and a mistake that I've previously made as well. I used to train so much into working on to doing hundreds and hundreds of reps and not really seeing the results. Think about a sport like track and field. If a sprinter decided to run like a long distance runner and train like a long distance runner, do you think that he's gonna get faster? No. Ultimately, all the reps of him running around the track at a slow, steady pace isn't gonna really make him a faster athlete. If you really want to jump higher, you have to focus on maximum output. For example, if you're working on squats, you would want it to be closer to the 6 to 10 rep range. You wouldn't really want anything outside of that because once you get past it, you're more so into the endurance side versus training the explosive side. Now, this itself will really focus for your body to really narrow it down and start recruiting those fast twitch fiber muscles. I remember when I was personally training, every time I had a 6 to 10 rep range and one of my reps didn't feel as explosive as my first to maybe 4 reps, that's when I knew that it was time to stop. The third tip is working on triple extension. Now, triple extension is your body's ability to access power from your hips, your knees, and your ankles. Now, this is crucial because we're all built different and have different body patterns based on our lifestyle. For example, someone like me who sits and edits a lot of videos, that causes my hips to be fairly tight. Now, if you have an area that's weak, over time, your body's slowly gonna start to break down. So I really want you guys to think of this kind of like a chain. Think of each link in a chain as a contributor towards you jumping higher. As you work towards making each link stronger, as soon as one of the links becomes weak, it's gonna start hindering your results to jumping higher. As you work towards making each link stronger, it doesn't matter how strong your chain ultimately gets if one of those links ends up being weak. Over time, as the link starts to break down, all it takes is for one of those links to break and the whole chain is ruined. So now to bring it back to triple extension. If you have any trouble areas in your hips, in your knees, or your ankles, I really want you guys to start taking care of those issues. If it's something strength related, make sure you are strengthening it. And if it's something mobility wise, that is something that is super underrated. Make sure that your ankles, your knees, and your hips are all loose, and that's gonna allow you to maximize your triple extension and jump much higher. Now, as a bonus tip, I want you guys to know that strength times speed equals explosiveness. And that is something that I focused on for me to be able to take my vert from close to 25 and bring it close to that 38, 39 point mark. If you guys want me to start this vertical jump series, please let me know in the comments below. Over the last 6 years, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what works and what does not work. And I wouldn't want you guys wasting any of that time doing the wrong things. So if you want me to share some of these secrets with the ITD family, please hit that subscribe button, share this video, and please let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this video.